Asalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Welcome back to my channel. I pray that you are all in the best of health and iman. If you are new, welcome. My name is Nafisa. I am a Muslimah life coach and I support sisters with relationship and mental health issues. So if you would like to be coached by me, you can find me over on my website, which I will leave linked in the description box down below. So guys, today's video is, as you can tell by the title, the assumptions about me tag. I asked you guys about a week ago to send in your assumptions about me because I thought it would be a good opportunity for you guys to get to know me a little bit better, since most of my videos are so like structural and like informative. Maybe you can have something a little bit chilled out. So grab yourself a cup of tea, get a snack, get comfortable, and yeah, let's jump straight into these assumptions. Some of them, I'm not gonna lie, they're a bit crazy, and some of them I think you guys are spot on. So yeah, let's get straight into the video. Alright, so the first assumption says you come across as thoughtful and wise. You just give an aura of calmness and genuineness, mashallah. Thank you. You seem to be very collected. Basically, you've got it together, sis. You know, I'm grateful for your compliment, but I really don't think I have it together, and I just think I have so much more to learn, and I have a lot of growth to do, and I think I'll look back at myself maybe in another 10 years time and I'll just be like, oh Nafisa, did you really do that? You know, why did you make that choice? And I'll, inshallah, I pray to be a lot more wiser and a lot more knowledgeable and just be someone who practices what I preach more. And yeah, and look back now and just say, no, you definitely don't have it together. So I will humble myself and just say honestly that I don't have it all together. So sorry. All right, the next one says, oh, she hadn't finished, she had more to say. Okay, basically, most of all, you're a sister who is always seeking to please Allah and promote our religion in a beautiful and honest way. That is very inspiring. Alhamdulillah, may Allah bless you. I mean, may Allah bless you too, sis. Thank you. You know, one thing I will admit to, and I'm not shy to admit to that, is that I am here to promote the Deen. Like, that's what I'm doing here on YouTube. That's why I'm on other social media platforms. That's why I'm on social media, period. I'm a very private person, and I don't think I would have ever be someone to come onto YouTube had it not been for the desire to want to give dawah. And I think that nowadays a lot of us are so afraid of being Muslims. A lot of us are so afraid to share, you know, give advice to someone else, and we're so afraid to, like, even the little knowledge that we have, to share it, because people can be extremely judgmental nowadays in our community, and it's almost as though if you are not a sheikh, you have no business saying anything whatsoever about Islam. And that was not the attitude of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, even if all you know is alif ba ta, like, share that knowledge with someone else, that might benefit them, you know. And dawah can be given in so many different ways. So yeah, I just feel like giving dawah has definitely been something that brought me here on YouTube, and my mission is to try to inspire other people as well as myself to stay on the path of Allah and to find beauty within the Deen. The Deen is presented to be so like rigid and like, you can do this, you can't do that, you're not allowed to do that. And I think that the human part of us kind of gets lost along the way sometimes. And so yeah, inshallah, that's just what I'm trying to put through and put across with like making lifestyle type videos that still reminds us about our Deen and how to implement our Deen and things like that. So yeah, I'm unapologetically totally doing that. Yeah, so you are right, I am trying to promote the Deen. And I ask Allah to accept that from all of us. I mean, okay, so the next one says that my only assumption is that sometimes I feel that you get lonely sometimes, and if you're not married, I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends you a righteous man who will love you and appreciate such a lovely woman like yourself, someone you can Deen, pray and help each other to get the highest paradise. Oh, inshallah. I mean, thank you. I pray for that too. I pray for a man who will love me and someone that I can Deen with, because that's an important part of my life and that's an important aspect of my life. And you know, I see a lot of stuff on social media and people are like, oh, couples goals and blah blah blah, but you know, the things that I look at as like couple goals, you know, when you like see a couple who are like performing Hajj together or performing Umrah together, for me that's couple goals. You know, when you have a husband and a wife working together for the sake of Allah, that's just goals for me. So yeah, thank you for that dua. May Allah grant you too the same if you haven't found someone yet. Now the part about me being lonely sometimes, yeah, I mean, when I first moved out and like started living on my own, that's when I struggled the most with loneliness. Weirdly enough, guys, I think I got so used to like living on my own and experiencing just being on my own and depending on myself that it kind of lessened the feeling of loneliness. Now I kind of enjoy like coming home to where it's peace and quiet. Like I can go to other places and there's loads of noise and and sometimes I'm just like, oh, I had enough, I just want to go home and just where it's just peace and calm. Yeah, so I enjoyed that. But like in terms of like needing someone and wanting someone, I think we all go through that at some point, and everyone wants to be a part of something because we're social creatures. But the way that I handle that is I'm very busy. I'm trying to make the most of the time that I have now as someone who doesn't have a family yet, my own family yet, so that by the time I do have a family, I'll be all right, because I know that, you know, before I started having a family and settling down and all of that, I did everything that I wanted to do, and I made the most out of that time. So at the beginning, I was kind of sitting there feeling sorry for myself, but I think in the last 3 or 4 years, I've just been like, no, like, it's over with that attitude. Like, do something with this time. Like, your life is not just marriage. I know marriage is a very important part of all of our lives, especially us as Muslims, because we don't have like relationships outside of that, or at least we're not supposed to. But I just had to be realistic with myself and be like, alhamdulillah, Nafisa, you're alive, you're healthy, you're well. Allah has blessed you with so many things. Like, you could be doing so much more with the time that you have now, instead of sitting there feeling sorry for yourself and counting your losses. So I decided to just shift my perspective and just started counting my blessings rather than counting my losses. And I think that's when my perspective on life really changed, and the way I use my time changed, and I started to like have more goals and try to work towards reaching my goals. So yeah, I mean, sometimes you still feel lonely, definitely, but it's not something that lasts very long, and it's not something that I dwell on the way that I used to dwell on it. So I'm okay, alhamdulillah, I'm good. Okay, so the next one said that I believe that you've gone through a lot of trials and hardship in life, which has given you the motivation to try and teach others to live better according to the Quran and Sunnah. And if you didn't go through those hardships, you wouldn't be the person you are today. 100%. Like, you hit it right on the head. Like, yeah, definitely. I don't want to give people the illusion that being a Muslim is easy, or that things would always be easy and that you will always be happy, you will never have any difficulties. Like, I bang on about trials because I want you guys to expect it. Because Allah says, you know, do you think that you will be left alone to say you believe and that you will not be tested? Those before you were tested, so you will surely be tested as well. And trials are by no means easy, and I feel like I have definitely had my fair share of trials in life. And at the beginning, like growing up, you just think, what is going on here? Like, what is going on? This is so hard. And I think that was why in one of my videos I was saying to you guys, under no circumstances should you ever ask to be tested. Like, if you feel like your life is generally easy and you can't really find any difficulties in your life, and you think Allah is not testing you, and therefore you question whether or not Allah actually loves you, because, you know, Allah tests those whom He loves, and you're tempted to ask for a test, don't, because you will regret it. You will regret ever saying that. Trials are not easy to pass, and I have had my fair share of those, and they've definitely helped me to become who I am today. I think when I look back in my life, I see certain trials that I personally feel like I failed, and I regret it so bad. And I didn't regret it in that moment. You know, when you're faced with a situation and Allah saying to you, this is what you do according to Quran and Sunnah, you know that this is what you do, and you don't do that thing, and you go and do what you think is right because you're judging your environment in that moment, you're judging what everybody else is going to say and what everybody else is going to think and all of that, and you disobey Allah. And then later on you realize that you only made things worse for yourself by disobeying Allah. Like, Allah hasn't lost nothing from that. You were the loser, so the joke is on you. And I feel like there was a trial in my life that I failed, and I regret that so much, even until this day, so much so that it does fuel me to say to you guys, I know that it's hard, and when you go through trials it's really difficult, but try your best to stay on Deen. Try your best to implement what Allah wants. Always ask, whatever situation you find yourself in, try and ask yourself, what would Allah want from me out of this situation? What does Allah want me to do? You know, and when you start asking those questions, Allah will always find a way to guide you. And if you always follow the Deen and the Sunnah, I have found in life that you will not have any regrets. The only time you have regrets is when you don't follow Quran and Sunnah. And so that's why I try to I remind myself by reminding you guys as well, like let's all try and stick to it together, because it's definitely one thing that keeps you grounded, and it's what makes you stronger. And at the same time, some trials I've been through, they've changed me so much. I think like in the last 3 years or so, I've changed so much. I feel like I was in this mindset of a little girl, and all of a sudden, somewhere between like my mid to later 20s, I just did a whole flip, and I feel like I'm in a mindset of a woman now, and I'm in a mindset where I'm more God conscious, I think, than how I used to be. I don't know what my level of Deen is, I don't know what my level of Iman is, I can't claim that I'm righteous, none of that. But consciously, I feel like I'm more conscious about Allah than I used to be. And Allahu Alam as to whether or not that is the truth. But that's just how I feel about myself when I reflect on my life and where I'm at right now. So yeah, it has definitely had a major impact. And you guys are enjoying one of the benefits of the changes I've been through and where it has taken me. Because had it not been for me feeling a passion for the Deen and just being proud to I don't mind being different. I couldn't care less, because for me, all I care about is what Allah will think. And so with that drive is what brought me here on social media to even begin to even have a channel in the first place. So, oh God. Okay, so this next one says, Asalamualaikum, Sister Nafisa, wa alaikum salam. I'm assuming that you are a perfectionist, a workaholic, and a pious woman. Wow. Jazakallah khair for delivering important content. So refreshing to see. Wa iyyakum. Let's take this one by one, shall we? A perfectionist. Do you know, one area of my life that I feel like I strive for perfection in is in my Deen, because this is the way I see it. For me personally, I feel like, let's say for example right now I'm probably like a 40%. Okay, let's say 100% is like a perfectionist. I'm like a 40%. I'm struggling at 40%. If I aim for perfection, which I know as a human being I will never ever attain, but I aim for it either way, then my hope is at least one day I might get to like 50, 55, or at my best probably maybe 60%. Okay, so I feel personally that when I don't try, when I'm not trying to perfect my Deen, then I linger on in that 40%. So in order for me to reach a higher stage, I feel like I have to aim for perfection, knowing fully well that I will never achieve it. Now, the part about me being a workaholic, I admit to that. I think I've admitted to that in a couple of my videos. I was a workaholic. I wouldn't say that I'm a workaholic now, because I'm really trying my best to take care of myself. And I think part of it is like how, again, I've been brought up. The women in my family, especially on my mom's side, are extremely hardworking women. Like, I can't think of any of my aunties on my mom's side of the family who don't work, or who don't have a business, or who don't have something going on for themselves. Like, their husbands are there, but they always have something going on for themselves. And I never grew up in like a rich family. Like, my family are not rich. In fact, I could say they are like lower class. And so I think I've definitely adopted that mindset as well. And even like growing up as a child, I was never that child who always wants something. You know, like, oh, I want this and oh, I want that, and always pestering your parents for stuff. Because I knew that I was in a family, we didn't have much, and our parents were doing the best that they could to provide for us the best that they could. So I didn't tend to ask for a lot of things. And I even remember, like, as I was growing up, my mom, she would encourage me to, use my skills to earn me some money and then use my money to get whatever I wanted. An example of that, my gosh, like literally when I think about it, I'm like, you've been an entrepreneur right from the childhood, girl. But I was kind of like that generation of kids, and I grew up in South London, of kids who would do each other's hair in secondary school. So I knew how to braid hair from the time I left primary. So by the time I left year 6, I already knew how to braid hair. So when I got into like year 7, year 8, I would like do like family friends, my cousins, their hairs, and their like my other aunts, they would pay me like £5 to do my little cousin's hair and stuff like that. And at school I would, like, my friends might give me a little bit of money and I might do their hair for them, and I would earn like £5 here, £10 there, you know, £15 here, and that was my pocket money, and I could just use it for whatever I wanted. And so if I ever wanted something, then I would use it to get that. And if I couldn't afford to have something, I really wanted it, I would ask my mom for it, but I wouldn't expect it straight away. I would kind of know that, okay, it might take a bit of time for me to get it, but eventually she would get it for me, because I think she always knew that I just wasn't that child that was always so needy and like demanding for stuff. So when I grew up as well, it just kind of meant that I've always been like independent minded and always wanting to work to have the things that I have, and not having a mindset of entitlement, thinking that somebody else needs to come and do something for me. If I wanted something, I went and put in the work that it required in order for me to get it. So yeah, I am a workaholic, and maybe that explains why. All right, next one, that I'm a pious woman. Guys, only Allah can say that, you know, only Allah can say that. I pray, I aspire to be anywhere near the pious women and predecessors of the past, but I cannot say that about myself because I just simply don't know. That is the truth. And I think the moment you start to see yourself as someone pious, that's when arrogance has started entering into your heart. So I can genuinely say, hands on my heart, that I don't know if I'm a pious person. I just don't know. And I don't think I will ever know until the day I meet my Lord. So thank you for the compliment. I do appreciate it, but I just don't know. This one is so funny. So Amina, she always comments on my videos. Asalamualaikum, Amina. She says, mashallah, you're such an inspiration. Thank you. May Allah keep your intentions pure and protect you. Ameen. Well, I have some assumptions. Number one, you have great hair, mashallah. You'll never know. Number two, you smile to people, even those you don't know. Do you know what? I did, and I used to do this like even more so in the past, but now that like Muslims have gotten into this habit of just blanking you, especially when you say salam, like you'll smile to someone and they will just like look at you like, why is she looking at me weird for, and just walk right past you. We need to stop doing that. It's not even funny. Like, it's really discouraging, because by the time you smile to someone or say salam to someone like 10 times, and every single one of them have like blanked you and just turned away and just kept walking, you're probably less likely to do it again. So yeah, I mean, I do try and smile to people that I don't know, but sometimes you read people's facial expressions, and when you're looking in their direction and their face just looks very like discouraging, then you kind of feel like you don't want to say anything either. So I would just say, like, when we walk past each other, like as Muslims, it's okay to just, you know, have a face that looks welcoming. You don't have to be smiling at someone back, but just have a face that looks like, yeah, I could receive salam from you as well, and I could give you a smile as well, just as brothers and sisters in the Deen. And the third one says, you are very organized. I like to think that I am, but I think that's a skill that comes with teaching. So when you're teaching children, you have to be organized, because otherwise you don't know what you're doing, and you can sort of bluff it for a little while, but how long are you going to be able to do that for? So maybe that's why, yeah, it comes across. I didn't actually think that I came across like that, but for me, I do like being organized as well, because it helps me mentally. Like, if I don't know where I'm going with something, it just turns out to be a whole mess. So I find like when I structure things and I organize things, it makes it easy for me to like know that, okay, this is the pattern that I'm following, this is the structure, and it just makes a whole lot of things easier for me. So yeah, I would say that I'm quite organized. Do you know what? I don't even know where some of you guys get some of these stuff from. Like, clean and tidy, have I touched on that? So as well as this comment, actually, I got another one that said that they think that I'm like a clean freak or like a neat freak or something like that. The thing with me is, and I'm going to use this word quite loosely because some people take this like really seriously, I like things to be slightly minimalistic. I like things to be, especially my space, I feel like I like my space to be clutter free, because when my environment is clutter free, then my mind is more at ease and I feel more at peace with myself. So, and I know that that's not something like that's easy for other people to achieve, because if you live in an apartment where the space is very small, it can be difficult to keep everything well organized, and I completely understand that. And so I'm very grateful that I live in an apartment where I have a whole load of storage space. And for someone who lives on their own, I actually own a lot of stuff, and I'm like on the verge of just trying to purge a lot more and not have so many things, a lot of them that I don't even need. But yeah, generally I do like for my environment to be very clean. Ironically, I don't care if I go to someone's house or if I, you know, I'm in somebody else's space and that place is untidy. It's just more so when it comes to me and my household and my home, I want for it to be clutter free, because it makes me feel better. And my mom, sometimes when she comes into my apartment, she's always checking around the place. I'm sorry, mom, if you're watching, but you know it's true. There's always one eye that's like looking into the corners of stuff and all of that. And if she finds things are like unkept and that, she will just say straight up to me, she'll just be like, Nafisa, this is not how you were brought up. Like, why is the place so messy? Like, anyone can just walk in here. For me, this next one, I knew I was gonna get something like this. I just knew it. So this sister says that you're really disciplined and pray every prayer on time every single day. Girl, no. It depends what you mean by praying like every single salah on time. I try. I can't say that I've never missed a salah in my life, but I do try to make an effort to make sure that I've prayed my salah within the window of when, you know, it's appropriate to pray a salah. So let's say, for example, it's not like as soon as the adhan goes off, that's the only time that you can pray Fajr or Dhuhr or Asr. You might have like a half an hour gap, an hour gap or whatever. I try to make sure I pray within that space of time. But it's a struggle for me, just as it is for most people out there, praying salah on time. And I think if some of you guys have been watching my videos for quite a long time, you would know that one of the first few videos that I made was all about salah and praying salah on time and hacks to help you pray salah on time and not to miss salah. And a lot of those things were things that I was thinking about and things that I were using, hacks that I was using to help myself pray on time, because I go through the same struggles that you guys go through, you know. And for me, like the salah that I struggle with the most is Fajr, especially when it comes to like the summertime and it's like Fajr, it's like 3:30 a.m. that I really struggle with. So yeah, I do struggle with salah. And don't have this idea in your head of like the moment adhan goes on, Nafisa's out there praying every single day on time. That is the goal, that is what I'm trying for. But do not be under any illusion of thinking that happens every single time, every single day of my life, because no. Okay. So this next person says that this is not their assumptions about me, apparently, but they want to hear my response. So the assumption is that your work life and coaching business leaves you with no time to look for a husband. You would be okay if you never married and never had children. Wow. Yeah, about me, my work life being so busy for me that I can't find time to look for a husband. Come on, like really, if something is the priority to you in life, you make time for it. So no, that's not a reason why I'm still on my own, especially because nowadays I am my own boss. I work, and I haven't announced this to you guys, but I work partly from home and I also work partly outside of the home now. So my business, I'm in charge of my business. I am my own boss. So I take time off when I decide I want to take time off. So if something is that important for me that I need to do, then I will make the time for it because I decide on my own time. So no, I would say that assumption is wrong. That I would be okay if I never married or had children. Do you know what I would say? Every woman wants to, well, let me not say every woman, because there might be some sisters out there who will be like, Nafisa, I couldn't care less. But it would be nice to get married and have kids. But I wouldn't like fall into depression if that never happened. Like, you know, I wouldn't, because I feel like in the last few years I've changed my mindset, and I feel like there's more to my life, and I feel like I need to be grateful for what I do have in my life and what Allah has given me. Of course I ask for Allah to give me a righteous husband who will be good for me for my deen and my dunya, and who will also be good to me, and I pray for righteous offsprings as well, of course. But if Allah for whatever reason decides that that's not for me, I'm not gonna just waste the rest of my life crying and feeling sorry for myself. I'm gonna make the best, or do the best that I can with what I have. So part of that is true. Another one about cleaning. Really, guys? I would assume you do chores, you clean every day, and that your home is never a mess. Heck no! Guys, no, that's not true. You should see some of like the other side of like my apartment when I'm filming sometimes. It is a mess, okay? It is a mess. And sometimes like I'll eat and I'll just leave the plate in the sink and I won't wash it right away. And God, I know Mum was watching this and she'd just be like, no, Nafisa, you don't, because that's one of her pet peeves. But yeah, I'm just like, I come back from work and I'm tired and I eat and I just leave the plate there and I wash it the next morning. So no, I don't clean every day, and that's partly because I don't need to clean every day. There's little things that you would do every day, like just hoover the floor or whatever, but I don't clean every day. There's no need. It's just me. It's easy to maintain a home when it's just, you're just the only person there, because if you keep a cup there, you're gonna come back and find that cup right there. Nobody else is gonna mess with it. It's just you. So okay, this next one, another one about marriage. I just feel like you guys just had to go there, didn't you? You just couldn't help it. Okay, someone said that you are being very picky about choosing a husband. I can't imagine how a beautiful Muslimah like you cannot find a good Muslim gentleman to marry. Well, thank you, but do you know what? Let me say this. The issue of me finding a husband, not being married yet, and all of that is not something that I will ever share on social media, especially at least not at this stage of my life. I just won't. I'm quite a private person. I feel like a private life is a happy life, and you guys will never know who I'm speaking to with regards to marriage or anything like that. You will just find out when the right person comes along, and if he wants to be part of my channel, then you guys will get to meet him, and that's just how it would happen. I do not allow myself to feel pressured by other people when it comes to the issue that, like, the stuff about marriage. I won't allow it. So I understand your assumptions about that and how it just doesn't make sense for some of you, but at the same time also I would say this is, when you're making these assumptions about Muslims who are single or Muslims who aren't married yet, have in mind that everyone gets tested with different things, and nobody has it all of the time. And Allah has determined a time for everything to be. So stop putting pressure on people, because like me, I can handle it. This stuff, it don't bother me no more. Like me at the age of like 24, yeah, that could have bothered me. But right now, couldn't care less. But there could be someone who is in a very delicate place, and you say something like that to, or you put an assumption out there about that kind of person. Now, I know that I asked for these assumptions to come, but I'm just saying, let's say for example, you portray this type of assumption onto them, and it could break them, because some sisters are already struggling hard enough with the fact that they're not married at a certain stage of their life. But to have other people also try and like basically bash them on top of it, it's not helping anyone. And if you look into your life, you will find an area in your life where you don't have everything you want. Okay, so everyone goes through trials, and Allah tests people differently, and Allah has determined a time for everything to be. So stop putting pressure on people, especially on women, with regards to marriage. So thank you for the comment to say I'm beautiful, alhamdulillah, and I'm not finding it hard to find a spouse, alhamdulillah. It's never been a struggle for me to, like, I've never had issues with men not approaching me. That's never been an issue. But why I am where I am in my life right now. I know that, and I'm comfortable with it, and I'm okay with it, and it's not something that I will ever give anybody else an explanation for. Like I said, when the right one comes, you will just get to meet him, and that will be the end of the story. Okay, next. Positive vibes, yay, thank you. I appreciate that. The next one said, I think you have memorized the whole Quran. No, guys, I wish. I wish I've memorized the whole Quran. I haven't, and it's still something that I'm working on, inshallah. Make dua for me that I get there, but no, I haven't. The next one said, I'm assuming you love anything with a nice scent, perfumes, creams, candles and stuff. 100%, like, yes, that is totally me. I love anything that smells nice. So yeah, perfumes definitely, creams and candles. You guys know, like, you know, my hand cream that I use is from like the Body Shop and stuff like that. And if you guys just know that I buy stuff from the Body Shop, then you can already make this assumption, because their stuff always smells really nice. So yeah, I'm definitely that like candles person, that person that just likes to pamper themselves. That's that's me. Yeah, definitely true. Okay, so this next one said, you are so clear and honest with yourself regarding the religion. I mean, you don't justify the haram by any means. I sometimes feel that you have struggled in your life in a way that affects you in a positive way. I love you for the sake of Allah. Thank you. I'm glad that you guys are seeing that there is a struggle that comes with trying to be on Deen, and that's just reality, and I'm really glad that you guys get that. Okay, so this next one says, strong-minded and don't take crap from anyone, yet very loving. Did you start your channel with the intention of spreading and leaving good deeds? Yes, and I think I answered that part in the previous question. But strong-minded and you don't take crap from anyone, yeah. I think I've had to learn to become strong-minded, because there's a side of me that feels so much empathy for other people that I would go above and beyond for others. And it's always been a characteristic, if I'm honest with myself, that I feel like I've always had ever since childhood. Like, I was that person who would do anything, go to any extent to help someone else realize their dreams, or to help someone else achieve a goal, even if it means at the expense or at my own loss. And as I've gotten older, I've realized that, Nafisa, that's not good. That's not, it's good that you care about people, but it cannot be even at your own expense. So I've learned to sort of rein it back and just be like, okay, moderation with everything. You can help others, but it doesn't have to be at your own loss. And that's a huge lesson in my life that I've had to learn. And I've come to also learn that there aren't many people in this life with that mindset. You know, there aren't many people in this life who are willing to go above and beyond for other people. And so whilst I feel like I go above and beyond for other people, it's very rare that I find someone who's willing to go above and beyond for me. So I've learned to take care of me as well, you know, through the journey. Just do what I can afford to do, but not at my own expense. Because whilst I pray that Allah rewards me for the times that I did that for others, I just know now just not to expect anything back from anybody else. If you're going to do something like that, don't let it be at your expense. Do good, expect the reward from Allah. Don't expect anything back from any other person, because most of the time people like us, we don't get paid back what we deserve. So yeah. Now back to like being strong-minded. I'm not one to look for trouble. Again, I grew up in South London. I still live in South London now. And if you live in South London or anywhere near, you will know that this side of London, we just don't take crap like that, you know. But I've never been one to like fight other people or look for trouble. But as I've gotten older, I've become very strong-minded to an extent where if you bring trouble to me, I can handle it. You know, like I can face you and I will face you, and I don't feel any kind of way about it. But for me, I feel like I have a right to do that, because I don't go out of my way to try and oppress anyone, and I don't go out of my way to look for trouble with anyone, and I try my best to be as respectful to other people as I can, and I feel like that should be reciprocated. But if someone feels like they're going to take advantage, or maybe sometimes I come across very kind of like, I don't know, you guys even say that I come across very like calm and very kind of a chilled person, so people think that I'm weak because of that, but they don't realize the side of Nafisa that is very like, I'm not taking no rubbish from nobody. And that part of me is very, very true, and I do have a strong mind when it comes to that. I've had to develop that again from other people taking advantage of the side of me that's very empathetic and that. So yeah, I am strong-minded. I am strong-minded, and sometimes I can be very stubborn when, like, with regards to certain things. But one thing where I think it has served me is when it comes to my Deen. When I started to practice a lot more, a lot of people were like talking bad about me and saying things about me and cussing me for wearing hijab and stuff like that. And this is really where like the stubborn side of me was just like, I don't care. It's not about you. If you don't like it, tough luck, because I ain't gonna change to please you. So yeah, I think you're right. I am very strong-minded. Next, oh, this lady said, I assume only good about you, sister, and you're someone I wish I could be like in her Deen, inshallah. Thank you so much. Thank you, sister. And you know, that when I saw that comment, actually it taught me the lesson of like assuming good of each other. But alhamdulillah, I can't say that there's been anything here that you guys have said that are like very rude or anything, so I appreciate you guys so much. So this next one says, seems like you can be bubbly and carefree amongst your close ones. Yes, definitely. I'm a lot more like just cheerful, and I have one particular friend, Mariam, if you're watching, yes, I'm talking about you. And she is such, like, she makes me laugh a lot, and it's rare that she would come over my place or come to visit and we won't laugh. Like, we will laugh so much. And I have other friends that like, they would come and see me, or I would go and see them, and we would have such like intellectual conversations. And when I think about that, I feel like, yeah, that's literally me. Like, there's one side of me that's very intellectual, and there's another side of me that just loves to laugh a lot. But it doesn't come across much when I'm on my own. It's when I'm with other people that you tend to see like, wow, there's a really like chilled side of Nafisa. But I just need to be around the right people for you to see that side of me. So yeah, you're right. Oh, this next one is long. Okay, you seem like the type who is always checking on the elders within the community and giving advice to the kids. I feel like although you are very happy with your life, you get lonely sometimes, and sometimes you want to receive the same shoulder that you give so freely. That's exactly what I said before, wasn't it? About like not receiving back what you give. So yeah, that would be true. I feel like at one time you have had a temper or were impatient, but you have overcome it, alhamdulillah. Do you know what? No, I don't think, like, I get angry. Don't get me wrong. Like, I get angry, and I feel like I take a lot. I'm one of those people. I'm quiet, and I take a lot, and I take a lot, and I take a lot. And then once you've reached your limit, it could be one little thing that you do, and then I flip on you, and then you're just like, whoa, what's that about? I am one of those people, I admit. But I wouldn't say that I'm someone with a bad temper, like with a crazy out of control temper. I've never ever been that way. I've always been stern. I feel like, do you know what? In fact, if there is one thing my kids, like the children that I teach, would ever say about me, like gather all the kids I've ever worked with, I've ever taught, and ask them to say one thing about Miss Akilu, I think one thing they will say is that she's strict. Yeah, they would actually say that, and it's the one thing I would expect to hear from them, like, she's strict, she's always putting me on timeout. Yeah, which I do a lot. I give my kids timeout. I'm like, I feel like I'm fair and I'm really nice to the kids, but I know children, they always try to manipulate people, and they always try to see like who they can get away with nonsense with, and I'm just not one of them. So I am actually quite strict, but no, I wouldn't say that I have a temper problem. But yeah, if you do push me, you will see another side of me, and then you'll be shocked, you'll be surprised that I don't just take it low and just keep quiet. So yeah, but basically you seem like your sister who's really striving and being very active within the community, alhamdulillah. Yeah, do you know, I think I was more active within my immediate community when I was younger, more so than now. Especially now with the responsibility of like a YouTube channel and all of that stuff. I don't have as much time to give to my community the way that I used to give to my immediate community, should I say. And again, that's just been like, when I grew up, I always went to like madrasa on Sundays and things like that. And our masjid, which is the same masjid that I still go to today, they would always encourage us as young people to like give lectures and stuff like that. The first lecture I ever gave in front of an audience was in the masjid, and it was in front of like every Saturday my local masjid has like a halaqah for brothers and sisters, and I would present there. So I feel like our masjid has kind of raised us, especially those of you guys who watch me who are in the same community as me. You guys know that, yeah, our mosque is a very active mosque, and it encourages young people, the youth, to be active members of our masjid and of our society. And I will say that that's where a lot of, like, you know, my building the confidence to speak in front of an audience initially started. So I love my community, I really do, and I feel like I'm an OG over there. And yeah. Okay guys, that is all I'm going to share for this video. There was so much more, but we'll be here all day. And don't worry, I have read absolutely every single one of them. And thank you guys so much for all of your kind words. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. Thank you so much for you guys' support on this channel. It just means the world to me. Thank you. And inshallah guys, I will see you all in my next video. Assalamualaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.